Welcome back and thank you for following me to video 3. As usual, we are now covering the real working royals and all the hard work they're doing. Let's jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Princess Anne. Who else? And on Tuesday the 16th, the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, visited the National Coast Watch Station at Fleetwood, Lancashire. She is the royal patron, in case you didn't know, of the National Coast Watch Institution, which is also called the NCI. This charity is run completely and entirely by volunteers. This year, it's celebrating 30 years of helping save lives around the coasts. Now, this is her 4th visit this year to an NCI station, and this one that she went to, the NCI Fleetwood, is one of 60 around the coast, and it's also one of the most northernly stations of the charity and the only one in Lancashire. When she arrived, she was met by the Lord Lieutenant of Lancashire, Mrs. Amanda Parker. I love that it's a woman. She presented then to Anne the NCI chair, who is Stephen Hand, who then presented the NCI sector manager, Martin Cripps, and Colin Cooper. She also met the station manager, who then escorted her into the station's watch room, where she got to see a briefing and, saw the work of the volunteer watch keepers and what they do to help save lives around the coast. The people that were up there, I just think it's important to note, were duty watch keepers Bob Lyons, Barbara Bertram, and John Bradford. Of course, Anne then unveiled a plaque. It looks like she had a great day there. Now, Anne is known as one of the hardworking royals, and this is why. When she got done there, then she went to Merseyside to help mark the 30th anniversary of a career center. Now, what's really interesting is that she opened this center in 1994 in Waterloo, and then she returned earlier to join the milestone celebrations. This place helps support people that are looking after loved ones or a friend. Still moving on, Princess Anne held an investiture at the castle, at Windsor Castle, and one of the people that she gave an MBE to is Paul Hollywood, and he was given that for services to baking and broadcasting. He was proud his mother Gil was there watching the ceremony. Another person who received an MBE from Princess Anne on that same day was UTV presenter Pamela Ballantyne. She got her MBE for her charitable fundraising in Northern Ireland. I love her hat. There were lots of people there getting their awards, and as usual, Anne was acting on behalf of King Charles while he's having his cancer treatments. One of the very few people, I might add, that King Charles trusts to do this sort of thing in his stead, and who better than Princess Anne? All right, let's move on. Guess what? We're sticking with Anne. That's right. She went to the curry lunch in aid of Army Benevolent Fund. She received a gift, which was a turned bowl by Colin Seabrook. How fabulous is that? I love her. Next up, we have Zara and Mike Tyndall, who were looking absolutely gorgeous. They went to the second day of the Cheltenham Racecourse April meeting. It looks like they were walking up and they got ambushed and they were like, please stop and let us take a picture. You guys already know how much I love them, and a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us everything Zara was wearing. Moving on. Let's move on now to Sophie, the Duchess, who went to Somerset and attended a field to food learning day. This was very interesting. This was held at the B&W Showground. Sophie has been patron of the Association of Show and Agricultural Organizations since 2012. So she got there, and right off the bat, she got busy. After greeting people, Sophie walked around all the stalls that showcased that area's best treats. There were apples, there was jam. She learned, she was sniffing things, she was looking at things that looked pretty cool. This organization, and I'm reading right from the article, is deemed the, quote, UK voice of agricultural shows, which represent agriculture, horticulture, equine, and countryside events. Now, this Field to Food Learning Day is supposed to educate students and young people where their food comes from and all the hard work that the farmers do to make sure everybody has the very best food available. There were volunteers, there were supporters, and they were showing everybody, the next generation basically of consumers, what they think of farming and food. Now, of course, Sophie got to sample some of the products at these exhibitions, which I think is pretty cool. The children, the farmers, the families got to get up really close and personal with the farm machines. They tried to make butter by hand, milking cows at some interactive exhibitions. Sophie really cooed over a lot of sheep that were there. She got to stroke some pigs, and there were some piglets in the hay. She looked at the beehive. I already showed you that picture a minute ago. I mean, she really got to go around the stalls and see everything, which I think is just adorable. There were more than 1,000 students there. I mean, it was just a huge amount of people. So this is considered a great way for the children to interact. Like, for instance, children might not have realized where milk comes from, what goes into making cheese, what goes into making yogurt. You know, one pupil learned, according to the article, that cows have 4 stomachs. They didn't know that. They didn't realize that the fleece of the wool is where, the fleece of the sheep is where wool comes from. So this, I think that's a smart thing to do. Later in the day, Sophie went to Bowgden in North Somerset, and she went to visit the Yeo Valley Farm. She met with the head gardener there, Sarah Mead, and they explored the North Somerset farm, and they looked at the greenery and all the flowers. There were tulip displays and flowers in all different colors. The garden is organic, just like the King's garden, and she looked very impressed at all the different things that they had there at the garden. Looks like a beautiful area. I wonder if you can do stuff there, like get married. Like, wouldn't you just love to get married in like a field of tulips? I mean, imagine how beautiful this is when it's all in bloom. I love it. Now, you may not realize this, but this place, this Yeo Valley Organic Garden, also has multiple regenerative organic farming projects. So Sophie was able to learn more about their sustainable farm and gardening practices and was able to look at projects that are opening up the countryside. Very informative. You should also know that the Yeo Valley Organic is the 14th biggest selling online grocery brand in the UK and the 3rd largest yogurt brand in the UK. Just as an FYI, some of their organic farming projects include mob grazing and agroforestry. Also, while in Somerset, Sophie met Mr. Arnold Willis and some people from the Cathedral Cloister Trust, and she got to see their new offices. She met with their donors and supporters of the Coronation Fund. Finally, while still in Somerset, Sophie met with the Trails Trust chairman and facilitators. Now, this is a charity, and they deliver a network of community countryside access routes through different agreements. Very nice. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us everything what Sophie was wearing during these fabulous engagements. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, go down into the description box. You'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my father's book, Finn's channel, and my Patreon. Come and join us. If you've donated anything to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.